All right, here with Nansemond head basketball coach Ed Young. He picks up his 500th career win as the Warriors win at Deep Creek to move to 12-5 on the season. Well, coach, you knew coming in you were 12 wins away. It's finally happening here. What's it mean to you and how's it feel?
It means a heck of a lot. I had a host of players here from the past today that drove here. Some came from distances to see it. Thank God we got it. I hated to do it against Craig Frost, a good friend of mine, coach at Deep Creek. But it's just the way the numbers turned out, and I got to win. We're not tanking nothing. We got to win. Sure. I did want to do it at home, but again, I'll just take the wins. And I wasn't thinking 500. Just thinking next win, we got to get in that playoff race, stay in the playoff race. Now that it's happening, I'll think probably more of it later. 500 wins a lot of games. You have to play a lot of games to win 500 games. It just means I've had great players that did what I want, assistant coaches that worked their butts off for me, principals, ADs that believed in me, managers that did all the dirty work for me, fans that believed me even when we were losing games. That's what it means. And this is what all I can do really is coaching. And I never set out to get 500. I set out to get every game, but not everybody does that. So longevity's there, and I think I can move with the times. It'll hit me later, and probably in retirement someday, but I ain't ready to retire. It'll probably hit me even more because this is what I love doing, and it's my passion.
And to be on a list with less than 25 in the state's history, I think locally we're talking about names that just include the likes of Bill Cochrane, Jack Baker, Walter Brown. That's pretty exclusive company, almost like a Mount Rushmore, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about guys, oh my God, Jack's over 700 wins, all those guys over 500, long time. Jack and Walt did it at one place. Bill was at a few places. I've been to a few places.
You faced them all.
Yeah, and I coached against all of them too, and it's been, wow. When you mention names like that, it's big. And I know some people may think it's not a big deal. It's a big deal because it's hard to get that many wins. I mean, somebody told me the other day, if you would go undefeated, you'd have to go 20 years, a little bit over 20 years, undefeated to get 500 wins. Now, we ain't never had undefeated, but I've been in it a while, and I just continue hoping to go a few more years.
You've coached kids as kids, and kids as younger brothers and cousins and nephews. This particular edition of the Warriors, you came out 12-17 from the floor, had a host of players contribute. Chris Hayes in particular had 12 of your first 21 points inside. Jalen Duckett had assists and steals, and then Devin Gaines and Salim Williams from the wing stepped up. Even a youngster as a freshman, Jeremiah Broom, knocked down 4 threes off the bench, so it was a pretty complete effort.
Yeah, the kids were excited about it. They said, Coach, we're going to get you your win. We've been playing up and down lately, well, probably mostly down. And they wanted to come out with a bang because Deep Creek got us here last year. We had a lead at halftime, let it squander away, and they beat us. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens when you go against a Craig Frost team. Then he ain't giving up to nobody. And a lot of people contributed. I think they were at times playing too hard. I had to take a time out early and said, just calm down. We'll be okay. Halftime, I told them the same thing. We got a little sloppy on D because we wanted to edge out and get easy buckets. I said, let the offense work. Feed Chris. Chris Hayes has been playing lights out last 4 or 5 games. And Salim Williams has done a great job of getting us inside. And Jalen's has done a job all year for us. And Devin Gaines and Broom, 2 youngsters. Gaines a sophomore, Broom a freshman. Future looks bright.
Yeah, lastly, as you watch this night kind of unfold, you kind of see kind of your whole career in a nutshell. You see players from your old Suffolk High State Championship team in 1987 led by Tony Smith, the State Player of the Year. You see a Mark Brown, who you had here at Nansemond in some hellacious battles with Deep Creek when they had Mike Scott and Corey Law, and you had Brown and Andre Jones, Nick Wright, Quentin McDuffie, and others. And I know you're closer to the end than the finish. How much do you think about how long you want to do this? And with this particular team, it's got to feel fun, though, that you've got this now out of the way and it's not a distraction, if you will.
Yeah, and I don't think it has been a distraction. We haven't talked about it in practice. Players don't bring it up. I think one player said today, dang, he's old. He got 500 wins. He didn't know it. He'll run a couple of sprints for that later. But I just want to keep coaching. I'm not going to hang on. I definitely don't have another 500 in me. That's a guarantee. It's a younger man's game. As long as I'm contributing to the team's success and not in the way, I'll continue coaching. My health has to stay good too. If you have fun doing something, just keep doing it as long as it's legal. And I'm just going to keep playing. So keep coaching while they're playing and enjoy it.
Get you on this. What would be your advice to a younger coach getting into this profession? Because you've been in it 30 plus years, and I know you enjoy not just the wins, but seeing the former players do things in the community besides their basketball. Right?
That's the big thing. It's a big thing. I mean, I told the newspaper people and the TV people, it's when my guys come back as men, grown men with children, having a job, and say, Coach, I use a lot of your things you taught us. I use it in my family. I use it in my business. That's unbelievable. As you mentioned, in terms of sticking around this long, you got to do the work. you young coaches, you got to put the work in. If you don't put the work in, don't get it. Don't cheat the kid. Put the work and time in. It's not celebrity status. It ain't like you see on TV. And my salary, I think, is $3,000. So that's not a whole lot. But I'm not in it for the money. It's in it for the kids' sake so that they'll be successful.
Well, thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you guys for being here.